students, welcome back to science class. Yesterday we have started the new lesson, that is light, shadows and reflection. Okay, there we have concluded with the objects can be classified into three. Okay, mainly the objects can be classified into three. They are transparent, translucent and opaque objects. Okay, and before that we have learned the non-luminous objects and the luminous objects. What are luminous objects? The objects which can emit light by their own. They are known as luminous objects. There we have identified the sun is the best example of a luminous object or a naturally luminous object. There we have seen so many examples like firefly, okay, etc. we have learned. Okay, based on the type of light, if the lightness passes through a particular object, if it allows completely, which is called transparent. If the light which allows but not completely, they are translucent. And finally, if the light is not at all passed through an object, which is called opaque object. Okay, these many points we have covered in the first module. And today we are going to start the second module, that is light travels in a straight line. Okay, you know the light reached on the earth within fraction of seconds, but it travels a long distance. Okay, you know 1 light year how much? These are the factors we are going to discuss in today's class. Okay, and one more interesting factor we are going to discuss is the pinhole camera. You might be heard the DSLR camera, etc. so on. And the making procedure of pinhole camera, it is there in your textbook. Okay, through the animation I will show you how to make a pinhole camera. Okay, and how the light falls on the pinhole camera and how it reflects. Okay, and how the pictures are being captured. These many points we will be discussing this module. Okay, let's watch the animation. Okay students, today we will discuss the property of light. Light travels in a straight line. Okay, so by the time the sun rises, you know that within fraction of second the light reaches to the earth. That also travels in a straight line. Okay, light will travel only this manner. Okay, from there light will be travels to only this manner, and you can see that it cannot move like this. Cannot move like this. Always remember, light travels in a straight line like this. Okay, so this is the fact you have to learn. Look at here, this is the way of movement in light. The next topic is shadows. You know the shadow formation? Yes, this is the shadow you can see. If any object you keep in front of sunlight, if any opaque object if you keep in front of sunlight, you can see a shadow has been formed. Look at here. Look at here. In front of sunlight, you can see this tree and the shadow has been formed. Okay, this is the formation of shadow. Look at here. The light travels straight line and it falls and it cannot reflect back, and the shadow formation will be taken place. Okay, look at here. Okay, let's study the mechanism of shadow formation. This is the light. Okay, the light travels straight line. You know that. Here we have kept an opaque object. That opaque object will be block the passage of light. Okay, the light can only travels to this path and can travels to this path. This path which cannot allow to pass because an opaque object will be block the way of light. Okay, here it cannot be formed and it forms as a shadow, and this is how the shadow formation taking place. An area of darkness is formed by the opaque object. Okay, shadows are formed when path of light is blocked by an opaque object. Not the point. This is the shadow formation. Okay. Okay, now move to the properties of shadow. The transparent objects do not make shadows. Object must be opaque or translucent. That is the first property of shadow. Okay, remember the point. Objects must be opaque or translucent, and transparent objects do not make shadows. Why? If the object is transparent, what happens? Light will be directly passes and no shadow formation, no darkness gets formed. So you cannot place a transparent object to form the shadow. Okay, remember the point. Transparent object will allow light to pass through it, so that you cannot place any of the transparent object to form the shadows. Okay, it never make shadows. Object must be opaque or translucent. Okay, the second point, shadows are black or gray in color. Okay, the shadows may be black or gray in color. Look here. Look here, the color of the shadow. Here also, it is black in color. Okay, and this is the another property of shadow, because not at all light passes. That is why it's formed the color like this. And it is formed opposite to the source of light. The next property, it is always formed opposite. If the light comes from back, it is coming on the in front of the opaque material, right? If it's coming to the opposite side, means the shadow will be formed in the next side. It is formed opposite to the source of light. The shadow can be seen only on screen. The ground, walls of the rooms, a building, or other such surfaces act as a screen for the shadows. Okay, this point is very, very important. When you keep a white screen or a white surface, shadow obtained only on a screen or a surface. Okay, that is the next property. Okay, next property of the shadow. Okay, and shadows sometimes give a lot of information about the object. Sometimes shadow can also mislead us about the shape of the object. Sometimes by looking at the shape of the shadow, you will be wondering that what object maybe you have kept it in front of the light. Because you guys will be wondered sometimes. Look at the shadow. Yes, this is a shadow formation. This is the shadow formation. Okay. Okay. This is there. This video you might be seen in different TV channels and all. So when you change the position of the fingers, we can have different models of animals, birds, snakes, etc. This is an interesting factor. Okay, and look at here. If you keep a cylinder, what happens? The light will be passes straight line. So what happens? It forms a shadow like this. You will be totally wondering that what type of shadow is formed, right? The next portion, mirror and reflections. Okay, so when you look at your face on the mirror, you can see your face, right? A beautiful face you can see. Yes, when you take a selfie, you can see the photos. Like same way, when you look at the mirror, you can see the mirror image. So what is the mirror image, students? So how you can see the see your face in front of mirrors? When we look into the mirror and see our own face inside the mirror, what we see is the reflection of our face, not the point. What we see is the reflection of our face in the mirror. Okay, that is a reflection. We also see reflections of other objects that are in front of mirror. Okay, when you go to home interiors, the beautiful home interiors and all, when you keep a bigger size mirror, like you can see the reflections of trees, buildings, and other objects in water, pond, or a lake. The beautiful reflection, a beautiful scenery you can see. Okay, you can see the reflections of those trees in the river. Okay, the beautiful reflection can be captured in camera also, right? This is the mirror reflection. Students, let's study pinhole camera. You know the DSLR camera? You are interested, right? Or you all are interested to take selfies and all. So, are you interested to make a pinhole camera from home? It is a device which forms an image of a bright object on screen without using a lens. Not the point. Without using a lens, you can prepare a pinhole camera. This is the activity in this syllabus, in this term. Everybody should prepare the pinhole camera. Okay, it works on the principle that light travels in a straight line. We all have learned that light travels in a straight line. Okay, a pinhole camera can be made with simple materials and can be used to obtain an image of the particular area. Okay, take two cardboard boxes. One will be larger than the other such that you can make it larger box and a smaller box. The smaller box should be capable to keep inside the a smaller box should be able to keep inside the larger box. Okay, so you can see cut open one side. Okay, you just open the one side of the larger box. After that, next procedure, what? On the larger box, cut a small hole in the center. Okay, look at here. You can see a small hole at the center, it over there. You can see the pinhole, a small pinhole you can see, right? Yes, and the next step is over. So after that, what you can see? Yes, this box, your tracing paper you are keeping. Instead of keeping a lens, only what you require is the tracing paper. So tracing paper in the smaller box you have to keep, and in the first box you have to keep a pinhole using a needle or whatever it is. You just keep a pinhole and a tracing paper. Okay, this much setup you have to be keep. So the next is the functioning of this pinhole camera. So tracing paper and a inner box and outer box you have to adjust like this. How a cameraman is adjust its camera, like same way here also what you have to do is just adjust. You please adjust this inner box with the pinhole. Okay, so by the time you are adjusting, you can see the image formation, the tracing paper, the inverted image will be formed in the tracing paper. Okay, so when you adjust the small box and the light will be passes through the pinhole, you know that light always travels straight line, right? Yes, so that after that you will get a correct inverted picture. Look at here, the tree picture gets inverted. തല തിരിഞ്ഞിട്ടുള്ള രൂപമായിട്ടായിരിക്കും കിട്ടുക. The tracing paper is acting as a screen. Through the pinhole, light will be passes. The image obtained in a pinhole camera is inverted because light travels straight line. Look at here, the light travels straight line. That, as you know that, the picture will be it will be captured inverted image. In a pinhole camera, the light enters through a very fine hole in a straight line. Okay, it is very small, very fine hole that will be acting as a medium to pass the light. Light rays coming from the top point of the object passes through the pinhole and strikes the tracing paper in the lower edge. Okay, look at here. From the top it travels and finally it travels through the pinhole. And what happens? From the pinhole, it will reach us as an inverted image. Okay, it will be reaches on the inverted image. So this light, okay, such a way that path of light you have to remember. Okay, at last you can see the pinhole camera in nature. Okay, natural pinhole camera. When the sunrise falls in a cupboard with a larger number of leaves, patches on sunlight of round shapes seen on the ground. The circular shape are pinhole images of the sun. Okay, the gaps between the leaves act as a pinholes, and light coming straight from the sun passes through those natural pinholes. Okay.